married in New Pickering, Mary's son and
This day is very special, and I've been to
this second marriage
Richard Ward
president.
and James Price and
Mom,
their preparations for today. They both admitted to having sleepless nights for the past.
But to the Danish
So we'll be very
conqueror
happy then
of
to
her
play
late
some
husband
pretty sure that
Philip.
right now.
Quickly, Emma ruled fast Denmark, Parchment, Wales. She was not just a ceremony of she assumed charge of the patrons She even insisted that
You're right, we've got a new city and that's what's making it feel so cool.
after Canute's death in 1035,
Should
lived
we?
a slender
Should see some sunshine.
bitter succession of the son
Could be heavy.
and Canute's son Harold. Emma backed Carthage. Harold seized power, forcing Emma to
Ever
flee.
optimistic that that will happen and there will be some sunshine and it will be fabulous.
She famously commissioned, written in Latin,
Crossing no rain here today in London town.
It was
It's
propaganda.
good enough for Carol, it's good
but
enough
it
for me,
was
thank you
also
very much.
rare
Well, of course,
insight
the weather
into
having
how
a big bearing on the other big royal tradition today, the Royal Street
When
Party.
Harold died in
More than 5,000 have been arranged across the UK. We're going to be talking to some of those taking part, seeing how they're celebrating the day. We've seen there on the map, I'm talking about the village of Bucklebury in West Berkshire. That's where the Middletons live. Those who haven't been invited to the Abbey will have plenty of opportunity to enjoy a party there. And
Unlike
Alex Jones Deborah.
Carthage, Edward silent. He confiscated her property and returned her to Seymour. She lived out her final years
is the longest avenue coast in Britain. Now it is going to be a fantastic day here. The locals are already
but she was more than a queen
we can
consort.
expect a hot
She was a political force who argued for great places, helped shape the monarchy, enforced her children's rights, and wanted freedom.
Alex, thanks very much. Let's go to St Andrews. That's where William and Kate first met as university students. We'll be talking to people who know them well. They'll be sharing stories and memories of the young couple. Our reporter there, Edith Bowman.
If you enjoyed this dive into medieval history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear which part of Emma's story surprised you. And if you want even more behind the scenes content, rare history facts and updates, follow me on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. And consider supporting the channel over on Patreon. Every follow and pledge helps bring more forgotten stories like this to life. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Now, a very important message. If you're near a big park today, chances are you'll be able to join thousands of others watching the spread of the big
Not
screen
once,
behind Park, of course, is
And
one of them. And, well, I'm rather pleased to see that Hyde Park are responding already. A very good morning to everyone in Hyde Park. It's good to see you all. Lots of flag waving already in evidence, and let me say, you're going to have to work very hard for the next 3 or 4 hours during the course of the morning. We'll be back with you many times, so good to see you all. Hyde Park, just one of the venues. Lots of other big screens in towns and cities right across Britain, so worth finding out where they are. Needless to say, we just want everyone to enjoy the day with us.
Emma's life
Messages
was
from all parts. I've got some emails already from China,
And today we're
Canada,
going to
Belarus,
see
and Malaysia. I may be able to
the
see them
secrets
in a short while, but further ado, in the International Space
Get
Station,
ready to meet
Mrs.
one
Biscombe.
who helped build the foundations of medieval London.
I'm eagerly awaiting the wedding of Prince William and Kate Middleton.
Emma was born around the year 95 in Normandy, Duchy of Nine
And we
in
just had a
France.
beautiful spectacular photograph right at sunset.
She was the daughter of Richard I, Normandy, the second wife of Gunnar. Born into Paris, Emma was well educated and had Her family had high places, but by Emma's time there were major players in Western Europe.
Well, there we have it.
In 10:02.
A trio of messages. I don't think that hairstyle is going to be beaten today. I just say that. I think that'll take some beating. But there you have it. We have a message from the International Space Station. We want everyone to enjoy the day this year on BBC Television. This royal wedding is breaking new ground. It's an age instant tweeting, non-stop messaging. We're used to it. It's part of our culture. From the moment the engagement was announced on Twitter, so much of the build-up has been driven by this endless, ceaseless flow of memes and views from people all over the world. So we don't want that to stop today. Wherever you are in the world, feel free to get in touch and take part in our global conversation. You can email us via the website. There's the address, bbc.co.uk/royal wedding. Or you can tweet and follow all the tweet messages. Hashtag BBC Wedding. That's the one that will bring all the messages together for you, and that's the one where you can send messages in. Just a couple of quick messages. Jamie Roberts in China. Thank goodness, this day and age, technology and social media have such a spectacle to be broadcast all over the world. Sunny in Toronto, Canada. Let's hope sunny is sunny. Up to 2 a.m. Toronto's wedding. From Irina in Belarus, a great day in history, and from Chiang Mai in Malaysia, finally something good happening. There are lots of worries in the world about terror or natural disasters. I'm going to be celebrating this. There are lots more like that. What we're seeing today, I suppose, is a fusion
not just a
of
ceremony
modern culture and
she is
pretty strict royal
charters.
tradition.
He
After all, the man who's getting married is the Queen
and played a
is the man
central
second
role
on the
in
throne, and
politics.
that does tend to colour
She
everything.
even
The match will
insisted that
inevitably
the
shape the future of the monarchy of Britain. Few people are as well qualified to explain the significance of the day as my special guest is. I'm talking about the distinguished historian Simon
After
John.
Canute's
A very
death
good
in
morning.
1035,
Good to have you. Well, it's lovely to have you with us and to really plug into your expertise and your perspective. What does this tell us about Britain in 2011?
Well, you know, there's not a really solid
Emma backed Harper, but Harold sees
learning to
power.
British
We're seeing Emma lead.
community is. That sounds boring.
She famously commissioned a book written in Latin to glorify
the
her
instinct
and
of
defend her
outpouring
reputation.
of
It
millions
was
of
propaganda,
who
but it was also
plug
a
into
rare
a very
insight
good
to
way.
how
The happy moment
community
being take something incredibly sort of
When
vested
Harold
in
died in 1038, Arthur Canute
and you
became
make it something as
Emma
simple
returned to
and
work
fresh as the moment by which we all,
But her power
old
didn't
people like
last
not you but me,
Arthur
renew
Canute died
ourselves.
suddenly in
Births and
1042.
weddings.
Her son by
Royal weddings
Ethelred
about-
and royal
That's why they were actually here. They were locked away.
Unlike Arthur
Like
Canute,
that. It was
Edward
basically
was
known as
silenced.
an
He
acquisition.
confiscated
It
her
was
property and
dual
forced her
mode.
into semi-retirement.
Often very
She lived out her final years
Not now. Not now. It's really all about the next generation making something old very fresh for
Why
the
do
future.
we-
So I loved our, the space station angel
Because she was more than a
hovering
queen
there out in the
consort.
dollars.
She was a political force who eyed three kings,
This is the
helped
kind of
shape
thing we're seeing today, and
forced her to
people not just from Britain but all across the world want to be part of what they see as a really strong
Through
part of
marriage,
British heritage.
diplomacy, and
And you
sheer
mentioned there, Simon,
Emma carved out
the
a space
tradition
for herself
as it's
in the
developed.
world.
What I want to show you now
Some
is
said
1923 and maybe some weddings after that, because
If you
I'm going
enjoyed
to
this day,
dare to say that
very
this is where
great.
the modern
Don't
tradition
forget
was
to like,
established.
subscribe,
Elizabeth
and share
Bowes
your
Lyon
thoughts
marrying
in the
King York,
comments.
later
I'd love to
George
hear
VI,
which part of
Queen
Emma's
Mother, of
story
course.
surprised
And
you.
this is where we had the first sense of a
And if
royal
you want
wedding
even more
as a very big
behind-the-scenes
public event.
content,
On
rare
film, of
history
course,
facts in
the
the
fact that they
follow
appeared
me
on
on
the famous
Facebook,
balconies, all these
TikTok,
processions
and
were
both
seen
personal
on the news
other sporting
reels in the
channels.
cinemas of the day. So that's really an
Every follow
tradition and in glorious colour. I love this. This is one of my favourite pictures.
Thanks for watching.
This is
See you
1947.
next time.
Marriage of Princess Elizabeth to Philip Mountbatten, Prince of Greece as he was. And again, when you look at these images
Not
of the
once,
dazzling colour, you
twice.
think it was much more
And to
recent than
two
it is.
different kings.
Post-war Britain.
woman
They
who
were
shared
coming out of a
destiny
very difficult, and it
played
was
the
still
game
an
of power
austere
like
country in many ways. The
practice.
economy was still struggling.
Stood
People were
firm
suffering great hardship.
dominated
And this is
by men.
1981, which I
This
suppose
is
brings us
Emma
mixed
Miller
messages
King.
today, Simon.
Queen,
Well, nice to meet you.
mother,
We're not going to
political
get away from
powerhouse,
what it doesn't put it down. What we know about the unfolding tragedy.
Viking invasions.
This is the resolution.
Emma's life was unbelievably married.
Extraordinary.
And They were dating
You're much too young to remember that, but I
the
had
secrets scam.
what was not rational was our adventure.
Get ready to
People
meet the
felt
woman who
leading
helped
through the
build
war
the
as Britons,
of
actually.
medieval
And here are
England.
beautiful young
Harry
couples.
described
And actually it's going to sort of shoot us through to the next generation of becoming proud of being British.
Emma
This
was
is the
born
last
around
big
the
war
year
wedding in Westminster Abbey, and it's difficult to
985.
believe it's
Duchy and
quarter of a
English
century ago.
line
And Queen Leah
France.
having a very good time chasing the carriage there. This is today.
She was the daughter
This is
of
Westminster Abbey today, and banner flying.
second
It's just,
wife,
I always think when I
Born in
pass Westminster Abbey Sundays, it's such a special place. You need to remind yourself that this has been a centre of worship, the place of
Family
worship
had
for more than 1,000
But
years.
by Emma's time,
There's something special about the
She
makers of
allegedly
Westminster
sent
Abbey. There are two
by
things. One, even in the Middle Ages, King Henry
in
III,
1002,
who
Emma was
put
sent across
everything
the
professor
English
Shine,
Channel to marry
in front of
King
which
II.
William and
Famously
Catherine were
known
married
as
today,
Athelred.
so that people would think that it was the representation of England. But Westminster Abbey, a burial
This
place.
marriage was
What the modern age has done is taken it from a burial place to a nuptial place, a place of positive celebratory joy, not just the gloomy tomb
Emma
of
became
things.
queen consort.
Well, nothing gloomy here because
Life was hard.
these are some of the 1,900
Life in
guests
dreams,
queuing up,
spend,
waiting for the Abbey doors to open, I reckon in 3 or 4
Athelred
minutes.
and
So we'll be back to see the guests going in, and we're back to unveil a glorious sight in the Abbey itself, and we'll be back to sight in a short while. Who's the lucky one
After
today?
Sven's
Is it
death
the
in
Lieutenant Commoner who's about to join
Athelred
the ranks of
briefly
royalty, or is it Prince William, who's
he
found
died
himself
just
a
2
remarkably
years later.
unpretentious wife and partner, in the words of the Archbishop
That's
of
where he
Canterbury?
made the
The debate still
She
rages.
married
They were
Canute
first
the Great,
pictured as a couple
very
on the
son
ski slopes of Cloisters. The stage was
This
set
second
for a
marriage
truly
on the
modern
president,
royal romance, as we
Anne,
know.
a former
Kate
English
rather likes the
queen,
stage.
now became queen again. Look to the Danish conqueror of complete husband's kingdom. With Canute, Emma ruled a vast North Sea empire, uniting England, Denmark, and parts of Norway. She was not just a ceremonial figure. She issued charters, he patronized churches, and played a central role in politics. She even insisted that only children of her second marriage, her son Arthur, should inherit her.
But the family album shows the beauty Catherine.
After Canute's death in 1035, England was plunged in a uncertain
She was a
state.
conscientious
Bitter succession crisis broke out between Emma's son
Meanwhile, William
and Canute's son by a different way, Harold.
character.
Emma backed Arthur. Harold's
That is
power,
absolutely it.
forcing Emma to flee.
By 2000, their lives began to intertwine. They both went to
She
Chile
famously commissioned a
before beginning their
written in
studies
Latin
at
to
St. Andrews
glorify her rule
University.
and her reputation. It was propaganda, but it was also a rare insight to how
Far from immediate glories, a student friendship turned
when Harold died in 1048, Arthur became king. Emma returned to her but her power didn't last.
public life beckoned.
Arthur Canute
William and
died in
Catherine's relationship continued to blossom.
her son by Ethelred, Professor.
So despite the odd hiccup along the way,
Unlike Arthur
16
Canute,
years after
Edward
that school
silent.
Judith
He
first
confiscated her property and forced her into semi-servitude. She lived out her final years in the discouraged and died in 1053.
This is a very special moment
So why do
for me.
we
It feels like coming home.
Because she was
I know
more
that
than
I'm
a queen
supported by
consort.
family and
She was a
friends.
political
I have
force who outlived 3 kings, helped shape the monarchy, and forced
Just
her
2
children's
minutes to
rights
go
to
before those Abbey doors open. Katie Nichols with me, author, journalist, expert on all things
through
royal.
marriages,
Great Abbey.
diplomacy, and sheer
It's so exciting.
It is exciting. It is exciting. And crowds have already built up a huge amount in the last half hour.
They
Gives you a
have.
sense of what's happening.
And listen, if it's going to
You enjoyed this
it's
day,
an upgrade on the wedding day. And B, I don't
Don't
know
forget
what's
to
going to
like,
They're so happy to be
They are.
sharing. Can't wait to comments.
I love to hear
Let's
what's
take a
happening.
look at Westminster Abbey straight away because there we have the
And if you want
official
even more
London
behind the
choir
scenes
and
content,
the
rare
doors of the
history
Abbey will be
facts,
opening
follow me on
untold
Facebook,
on the stroke of
TikTok,
8:30 in a
and
minute's
Instagram.
time. Let's have a sense from
supporting
you
the channel.
what these guests are expecting.
Every
Maybe talk
follower
to some of them. What are they thinking?
pomp and pageantry, all of those things that are associated
Thanks
with
for
royal
watching.
wedding. But I think
See you next
what's
time.
the most interesting thing about this is that it's quite unique. If you actually look at the seating plan, up in the transepts, up in those key places, are there
Not
friends
once,
sitting with
but
prime
twice.
ministers, sitting
And
with
two
diplomats,
different
sitting with
ways.
foreign members of royal families.
The woman who
And I think
shared the
that's quite
destiny
remarkable. And I think the whole
played
point
the
is that
game
William
of
and
power
Catherine have
like
always, from the start, since the very day this was
stood
announced,
firm.
wanted this to be their wedding. This is about their friend. And I suppose as their
This
friend,
is
they
Emma
were able to have
Day.
that suitable wedding. And I
Queen,
think they're very
mother,
lucky and they're
political
very
power
lucky to be able to do so.
Well, within seconds of the doors opening, a very patient British queue there, Katie. I think we can all agree it's all
Like
very
the
well
Ravens
reserved.
to
And just to let
Emma's
people know as
life
well
was
that very few of the
married.
seats are allocated, so
And
lots
they
of
were
the people going in now will be looking for the best seats, won't
Secrets.
they?
They will. I
Stand.
mean, it's typical British, isn't it, that we queue and first come.
Get ready to
There
meet
are
one
a
who
few
helped
reserved
you
seats, and as you would expect, and a
Medieval
couple are quite
England.
adamant that some of their closest friends, the real inner circle, get to see everything that's going on. They don't have to be behind a pillar. But no, there's really no
Emma was
seating.
born
Of
around
course,
the
you would
year
expect that the foreign royals are seated right up the front of British royal
Duchy
family, of course,
which is
will
mine,
take all the
Lord
precedence. I
France.
think one of the most interesting things is where the Middletons are sitting. Karen
She was the
Middleton, of
daughter
course, Kate's mother,
of
is
Richard
immediately
I.
opposite the Queen. And
Second
the
wife,
Spencer family, of course,
Born
have
in
been given
Japan.
great feet. They're going to be very much a part of this day, and I think that's important because, as you were saying earlier, the Count graduated in 1981.
Family
Diana, she's been
By
remembered in
Emma's
many ways
time.
in the service, not least the position of the Spencer family.
Well, indeed. These
In
guests are
1002,
waiting at
Emily
this
sent
very
across
grand
the
entrance. This is
English
the north door. Now,
Second.
it's interesting to look at this
Famously
because I'm
known
always
as
fascinated
Ethelred
by the
the
fact that it's a much
Nicknamed
grander entrance than the
in
Great
the
West Door, which is where the Queen and the couple will be
This marriage
entering
was
into the Abbey later on.
was
This
meant
is
as
the Great
a
North Door because that's the door where people are coming in, and we can see into the north transept there. That's where the guests will make their way in and down through the choir and into the nave. This Great North entrance used to be the royal entrance, and that is why it's so grand. So it's interesting to see that today it's used for tourists and it's used for most of the guests coming in. In this part of the north transept, we'll maybe get a better look later on, but it's Statesman's Corner really. It's Statesman's Corner.
After
Glastonbury,
Spen's
Disraeli,
death
Canning,
in
Asquith,
briefly
the memorial tablets and
he
statues
died
to them.
just 2 years.
The queue is on its way, Katie, so the patience waits to pay
That's
back.
when Emily
As we were speaking about the wonderful
She married
colourful
Canute
and
the
like
Great,
this is going to be
very
for-
son
for the ladies to certainly outshine and not
This
just
second
for
marriage
the
turned
lots of
president
colour. Of course, the dress line is
her,
to see all these cases dress, and this is this is the best kept secret of the wedding. I
It's
mean,
astonishing.
but to the Danish
absolutely
conqueror
unbelievable.
of
It's been how many
husband
weeks they've been over this wedding that they've managed to keep so much information out
With
of wraps.
Canute,
And it's
Emma
very
ruled a
important
vast
to right from the
sea
start,
empire.
and that she kept
United
this a secret.
England,
And it's
Denmark,
really
and
the
parts
first
of Norway. She was
They have
not
always
just a
been
ceremonial
erected some form of
figure.
a
She
temple
issued
entrance. So I think it
charters,
would be
he
the first time when she
patronized
stepped out of that car with her father
played a
just
central
before
role
11
in
o'clock at the Abbey, and what a sight
She
that's
even
going to be.
insisted that Nation her
I should
second
say Westminster Abbey has been transformed today.
should
Just
inherit.
look at that, it is magnificent. There's the red carpet, obviously, but what we have is an avenue of trees, field maples, and they've
After
been
Canute's
put
death
there to
in
line the
1035,
nave. I'm told that in the Victorian language of flowers and fields, maples represent modesty and humility, and Kate has been very keen to bring in the language of nature, if you
Emma
like,
backed
into this service. So you have an avenue of trees
We're seeing Emma
leading down to
today.
that choir screen, and then through that into the choir itself.
She famously commissioned a
horn beats
written in Latin
placed
and
either
glorified
side
from
of the high altar,
Russia.
and they represent
It was propaganda,
and strength.
but it was
So
also a rare
interesting
insight.
that says something about early Lakers.
When Harold died in 1040, Arthur
which I think are going to be planted later in the high grove,
That's
which is rather special actually. It'll always be a
But
memento
her
of
power
their day.
didn't
I
last
think
long.
from what I understand,
When
Kate had a
Hartnett died
a
suddenly
very
in
clear idea of what she
1042.
wanted and showing
Her
us
son by
Florence.
Ethelred,
She's been very
Edward the
involved with
Confessor,
creating a
became
forest in the
king.
Abbey.
Unlike
What does it tell us all of
Hartnett,
this about
Edward asylum.
relationship,
They
their love story.
confiscated her property and
I think
forced
that
her
this is
into
an equal partnership,
semi-retirement.
that this is something that
She lived
grows
out
as a
her
friendship
final years
and has
in
blossomed
relative
into a wonderful
restraint
royal
and
love
died
story.
in
I mean, they've known each other for a decade.
They've known each other for a decade, and I think that's where this is going to be the most positive thing to take out of this. They've known each other, the best of each other, the worst of each other. There have been ups and downs, but they've come through this. And it was a university romance. William spotted this rather sharp, terribly pretty brunette. And of course, she caught his eye on that catwalk, walking down in that now infamous dress. And this is them today. Absolutely stunning. Photograph taken by Meredith Athena. This is the one that's been the official souvenir.
If you enjoyed this dive into the
Again in the black and white, you
don't
see
forget to like,
a little bit of
subscribe,
an echo
and
of
share your
Diana
thoughts
and
in the
it just looks
comments.
stunning.
Love to hear
They
which
look so
part
happy.
Harry's
They look so happy. I think they are so happy, and we wish them the
And
very
if
best
you want
today.
even
We
more
certainly
behind the
will
scenes
stay tuned. We'll talk to you in a while, but
rare
thank you very
history
much.
facts,
So it's good to
follow
have
me
you.
on Facebook
Well, judging
and
by
TikTok.
all of the crowds already
Consider
here,
supporting the
it's going to be a bumper turnout when William
Every
is
follower
here. And the processions take place throughout Britain.
Thanks for watching.
Most
See you
people will
next
follow
time.
these parties and they'll be joined by, well, it's a bit of a guess, but we think maybe up to 2 billion viewers around the world.
Not once,
twice. A huge number.
And two.
Already having emails, I mentioned them from friends from the USA.
Woman who
telling
shares
us
her
that
destiny.
they'll be up in the middle of the night to watch it on BBC America. Can I say to you specifically,
Burn.
a warm welcome.
Dominated by
Countless
men.
wedding watching parties going on.
This is Emma Queen,
Well,
Mother,
cameras and microphones
Powerhouse,
in every direction. Most of them, by the way, have set up their studios, well, next to ours, just next door, right opposite Buckingham Palace.
Viking
As many
invasions
as 10,000 foreign broadcasters, journalists,
Emma's life was
more than 200 television cameras.
And today we're
along
diving
different
deep
Mall,
into
down Whitehall, and Harlem Square.
secrets,
It's the biggest
scandals,
outside broadcast of recent times.
Get ready to meet the woman who helped bring the foundations of medieval England.
We're in front of Buckingham Palace, and we're here in this little booth. But there's
Emma was born around the year
so we have 3 floors.
95.
So we've built a
Duchy
castle
and
for the media.
Palace.
The operation we put together here is certainly one of the biggest.
She was the daughter of Richard I. When you had second wife, there was the reason born in Japan.
The makeshift TV studios that are set up, you know that this is going to be big and deep.
Her family had but by Emma's time, Maple Gate and Tenoche and sang across the English Channel. Famously,
Growing up in Canada, of course, we love the Queen, and we
nicknamed
and I thought not something to cover. And now I'm here.
this marriage
The bus are getting clear.
was meant to secure her
I actually got to talk to Prince Harry yesterday.
like
to see Kiss,
Emma became Queen consort of England. But life was far from like the reasons for
You could probably say love is in the air for everybody.
at the Red Queen property. 1013
Just a little flavour, because believe me, this is an enormous industry, and when you
After
see the
Sven's
world
death
gathered
in
in, of course, even those of us who are used to it, it's quite a sight. And Katie, you're doing lots of work for one of the big American networks, and you'll be joining them a little later.
That's when Emma made her
West Coast special. This is
She married a new Pickering, the very son of
incredible. I'm not spending a lot of time in the States recently.
This
and the
second
reception to this
marriage
couple,
has
and honestly, they cannot get enough. They're
Very
as bright,
clean,
as glossy,
now
as
the
beautiful, as
queen.
fabulous as any A-list couple over there.
But to the
They
Danish
adore me, and
conqueror,
I remember saying to George Stephanopoulos at GMA, what is it? What is it, George, that really makes
With
you so
me,
interested?
Emma
you so
ruled
interested?
a vast
And he said, Sam, it is the legacy of
uniting
love.
England,
And
Denmark,
as a
Parts
son,
and
we
Wales.
want to know
She was not just a
future bride, and they're smitten
She
by
assumed
the
charge,
And in fact,
he
the reason that
patronized
after Canada, which is their first official tour,
played
they
a
will be
central
coming at some point via the States. So I think, my goodness,
She
I'd love to
even
be able to have that.
insisted that
It'll be a
he
very
should
real
the
welcome.
second
I think we'd all like to be on that, so that's something to look forward to.
Harry.
A very interesting facet of today's events, and as we look at the Abbey, and it's starting to fill up, there's lots of interest in
After
the friends. I
Canute's
don't
death
mean a
in
huge wide circle of
1035,
friends.
she
I mean a
was
tight
plunged
circle of
into
friends around William and Kate.
bitter
especially around
succession
William.
crisis
He's been
broke
very
out
keen
between
to
Emma's son, Carter,
protect them today and
and
to
renewed
protect
son
them
by a
from
different
coverage.
way.
Difficult
Harold
today
Hereford.
because they're going to be there
Emma
on
backed
show,
Carter
and we'll be seeing some of
but
them. So
Harold
tell us who we
seems
should be looking out for.
forcing Emma to plead.
People who want to look out for are Thomas Van Stravanzy, one of Prince William's very best friends.
She famously
Guy Pelly,
commissioned
who's
a
helping
line
here
written in
by
Latin
with
to
the
glorify her
evening
right
reception,
to defend her
and
reputation.
James Mead as
It was
well.
propaganda,
To really be
but it
the
was
trio of
also
the
a
inner
rare
sanctum.
insight to
William's
how
friends
the
are,
way
that's Guy Pelly there. William's friends are incredibly protective.
When
They
Harold
won't
died
talk.
in
There is a
1048,
code of
Carter
conduct. You don't
became
breach it. If you breach it,
Emma
you're out
returned
forever.
and
Thomas Van
tried
Stravanzy, great friend,
When her power
helped
didn't
Harry
last
the best man speak.
Carter
It's probably
died
helped William a bit as well.
in
They really are
Her son
the
died
core support behind Prince William. He invests a lot in his friends. He trusts a lot in his friends.
Unlike
because
Carter
they give him an awful lot back.
Edward
They support
he
that he can't get
confiscated
anywhere
his
else. And
property.
Kate's the same. She also has a very tight sentiment. And you're right, they will be
She lived out her
cameras
final
will be on in a way that they're not usually. It'll be interesting to see how they do with it. I think very, very few of them will ever
Why
speak.
did
That
we
bond, that trust and that loyalty is
Because
so
she's more than a
important. And it's
queen
what you needed as well. They follow their friends who have
I
time with their friends.
agree.
They're regular guests at
Helped shape the
just when you can learn what to do about it.
It's interesting. It's often said that the families, their opinion,
Who married
that they spare him nothing in giving their opinions to him, their proper sounding boards. You know, is that really true? I mean, can they really be completely unguarded?
You enjoyed this
This
dive
I
into
think
the
actually
history.
the real
Don't forget to
insight
like,
are,
subscribe,
yes,
and
I
share
think
your thoughts
absolutely.
in
And
the
I think
comments.
it's
I'd love to hear which part of
different
this
to
surprised you.
He's very modern. Just to bring it
And
back
if you
to
want
the
even more
history,
behind
she
the
will
scenes
challenge him.
content,
They have up
rare
and down
history
she'll
facts,
tune as well. She'll
follow me on
challenge the
Facebook,
and vice versa.
TikTok, and
Ooh,
Instagram.
that's why this one is.
Consider supporting the channel.
I want to ask you as well about Kate, the influences
Every
on her,
follow
because
and pledge
sister
helps bring
Lily,
more
they're very close to her. But who's the
Thanks
circle
for
around
watching.
Kate?
Well, the
See you next
circle
time.
is as small and tight, if not smaller and tighter than Williams. She's incredibly close to her mother, Cara. They have a very special relationship.
She was a queen,
And with
not
my
once,
father, but
but
Pippa,
twice.
I think is
And
really
to two
her drop.
different
And there's not much between the main drive
A
and
woman who
the
shaped
of course,
destiny.
because they're
One who played the
today,
game
and
of
I
power
think she
and
really is
Dr. West.
her very
Stood
best
firm
friend, the one that
while
Kate can really confide in,
by
and
What
has been looking to all of those secrets.
This is Emma of
Interesting yesterday, just having a quick chat
Queen,
with
mother,
during the
power,
rehearsal, just after the rehearsal, and
Great.
she came across someone who's very modest actually, and very grounded.
I think that's typical of the whole family.
Viking
I
invasions
think
to
love so
royal
much about the
trends.
nucleus of the Middletons.
Emma's life
Is the
was
normality.
anything but
They
ordinary.
spend Sundays having
And today we're
lunch
diving
at the
deep
table
into
together.
her story.
It's a very
Secrets,
normal family
scum,
environment,
this
something he
legacy
never
she
really
left
had himself.
behind.
And I think he
Get
feels
ready to
very,
meet
very
the woman
lucky
who
for
helped
joining
build
us.
the
This is the
foundation
merging of
of
these two
medieval
families,
England.
and I think we will see after this whether the Middletons continue to be a very big part of William's life. He still wants to go on holidays with them, and I think he's going to be
Emma was
able to
born
do that.
around the year
Katie, it's lovely having you with us.
905
We've got some work to do,
A
I know that.
duchy in which is
I have a
So
lot of
sadly, I'll need to let you go, but it's been lovely having you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
She was
Katie.
the daughter of
Lots
Richard
of
I,
familiar faces starting to arrive, and I'm going to join Fiona straight away and sort of work.
born into power and who was well educated.
Yes, I am joined by Sir Clive Walker, who of course coached the England rugby team to glory in
Family
2003. How are you
By
feeling?
Emma's
Excited?
time,
Very excited. I think we myself and Jane came down to the Palace last night to see everyone camping out and just all the nationalities all around the world. It was just fantastic. And it's a great showcase for our country. So yeah, very exciting. This should be a fantastic one.
How well do you know William and Kate?
Yeah, quite know William very well and Harry very well. They're big rugby fans. William first started coming to rugby when I was
This
at
marriage
in 1998.
Some said
And he's always been a big fan since, and comes to Cardiff Twickenham with Harry. Just big fans, and so know quite well. And obviously, big day.
Emma made a between
Very proud
concert
of
with
him.
England.
You say to
Life
us
was
before
hard.
that you feel a bit nervous for them though.
Viking
We're just coming down last night to see the whole scale of events. It was just absolutely fantastic, and just so
At the Red Bull
proud to be
Company.
there because the whole country is so behind this wonderful couple, and it's just really wonderful day. And he'll be very nervous, and we'll be nervous for him, and Catherine.
After Sven's death
just to
in
be here together, both around the place.
at the Red, briefly
Did you say William comes down to watch the rugby because he
he
came on
died
tour with you as well?
just
How
2
did you get?
years later.
Well, he just knows the players very, very well. He's
That's
a big
when
fan.
he made his
He's
school
played for the Welsh Rugby Union as well. So
She married
him and
Canute
Harry
the
have been
Great,
big fans all
very
the
son
time. And
of
I remember being up to
England.
first time I met Countess
This
was up in
second
Scotland.
marriage
We all played
of
Scotland. We went came to dinner afterwards, and I just love to meet the players. And there are a lot of lovely players everywhere. It's good to see a few of the players here today. Good
but
nice
to the Danish conqueror,
So no, they're just genuine guys, and just very, very pleased from both.
And are you going on
with
to any
canoes,
of the
Emma
celebrations
ruled
after
a
the
vast
Yes, we're going to Paris afterwards for the first
uniting
Saturday
England,
afternoon.
Denmark, and parts of
gathering,
Norway.
and yeah, it's just
It was
wonderful.
not just a ceremony.
Have quite a day. Enjoy it. Thanks very much
She
for talking to
issued
us.
charters, gave patronized
So Guy Woodward, good to see you. And of course, we'll be talking to some more guests as they
She
arrive.
even insisted
It seems like a good moment for me to welcome those of you joining us and just to give you a little timetable what we're expecting, because we've got a good few hours ahead of us. So I'd like to just go through it very quickly so that we have an
After
idea.
Canute's death in
VIP
1035,
guests
England
arrive
was
at 10 o'clock, but given that Sir Clyde Woodward is
Bitter
there, they've started arriving already. Prince William and Harry, that's a crucial time. 10 past 10,
Canute's son
they'll be leaving Clarence House. That's a great good tradition.
Emma
They go
back
very early to the Abbey so that Prince William
Harry
can
at his
have a
house,
chat with some of
forcing
his
Emma
best
to
friends.
flee.
So we'll see a little bit of that. 20 past 10, we'll see
She famously commissioned written in Latin with more lines from the head
It was very interesting to see what Carol
It was
Middleton was
propaganda,
wearing, because there's been a
but it
little
was
bit of
also
controversy
pure
about
insight into how
dress. And then we'll be looking at Prince of Wales leaving Clarence House
When
at
Harold
3,
died in
at 20 to 11, a
Arthur
key
Canute
moment
became king.
with the
Emma
royal salute
returned
as she
to
leaves the
court
palace.
in triumph.
Bridesmaids and pages leaving
But her
Victoria
power
Hotel. Now look
did
at this
not
time. This is very important
Arthur
time. 9
Canute
minutes to
died
11.
suddenly
All
in
very precise.
1092. Her
That
son
will
by
be when
Ethelred,
Catherine
Edward
Middleton and her
West
father
Earl
leave
became
the Goring
king.
Hotel. It's a very quick journey,
Unlike
no
Arthur
traffic
Canute,
jams,
Edward
very
sided
smooth
with
progress for them up to the Abbey.
her
Probably takes
property
6 minutes or so.
forced her into
I'm ready for that
semi-retirement.
service to start at 11. I'm
She lived
assuming,
out
of
her
course,
final
that
years
Kate is
in
not going
relative
to
security
claim her
and
right to be
died
late. I'm assuming she'll be more or less on time. After the service, we'll have a carriage procession. That's something interesting for me to mention
Because
as
she was
well.
more than a queen
Cars to
consoror.
get there,
She was a
carriages to come back.
political
A big,
force who
grand,
eyed
traditional, colourful
helped shape
carriage
the
procession to get us back to Buckingham Palace. And that balcony appearance, at
Through marriage,
Oxford.
diplomacy, and
What we're
sheer
seeing now, one of several little minibuses, and these are the bridesmaids and the page boys who are already on their way over
If you
to
enjoyed
the Goring
this day
Hotel initially,
until
and then they'll be
don't
going to
forget to
Westminster
like,
Abbey.
subscribe,
We'll be seeing
and share.
lots of these little
Love to
minibuses
hear
today
which
because some of the royal
part
family
of
too have been taking in them up to Westminster Abbey.
And if you want
It's got a
even
different
more
feel to it.
behind-the-scenes
The cars and the minibuses
Rare
very
history
different
facts,
to the carriage
follow
processions
on
we've seen in the
Facebook,
past
TikTok,
on the way to the
Twitter.
service.
Consider
Watching
supporting
all of
the
this with great interest, of
channel.
course. The
Every
friends of the
follower
Middletons who are still in Bucklebury today, West Berkshire, and Alex Jones is there with us.
Thanks for watching, and see you next time.
Billions around the world who'll be watching the wedding, as you said, are the locals here in Buckleby.
She was a queen, not once, but twice, and to two different kings. The woman who shaped the destiny of the and played the game of power of the season of darkness, stood firm in the world This is Emma O'Reilly, queen, mother, of the little colonies and Viking invasions to rule the trials. Emma's life was everything but ordinary, and today we're diving deep into her story, the secrets, the scandals, and the legacy she left behind. Get ready to meet a woman who helped build the foundations of medieval England.
I imagine they'd be pretty nervous. They're just an incredibly nice down to earth family. We've known them, they've been coming for a few years.
Emma was born
You see
around
them
the year
like anybody else. But yeah, they're going to be nervous. They've got to be nervous.
which is the right to She was a daughter of Richard
Pretty scary. The first act is pretty scary. But I love the people. Very down to earth.
born in the Catholic.
Everyone's just so proud that she's from Bucklebury and one day she's going to be our queen.
Family had Vikings. By Emma's time, in 1002, Emma was sent across the English Channel to Malta and reception. Famously
I'm not taking that.
I think Furry Pippa was
nicknamed
Yes. And he taught Canada between the ages of 11 and 13, didn't he?
This
What
marriage
type of
was
student was she? Was she a good student?
She was considered as well prepared. She was bubbly and bright and fun. So they
And how was Albert for you to see her at the altar with the prince and the other members of the
became
Middleton
very
family in the
consummate
pews in the front?
But it is a strange
life
feeling,
was
isn't it?
hard.
It makes you feel very proud of her towards a future
Like
princess,
Marie,
future queen.
like
I think it's really good for Bucklebury and for the Middletons as well.
Definitely. Well, it's going to be a great
At the
day
Red
here.
Bull
And one thing is for
Rumble,
certain here, we're all going to be glued to the screen over there.
Alex, thank you very much. Back with you a little later on. There's the Mal. And I was walking
After Sven's
the Mal
death
last
in
night after we'd been
2019,
rehearsing a little and
briefly
on the way back from
reviewed
Westminster Abbey.
But he
People in their
died
little tents,
just 2
sleeping
years
bags.
later.
I have to say, the spirit was tremendous. Very
That's
cheerful,
when Emma made
people
her
very
move
patient
on.
and very happy.
She married Canute
Everyone
the
wanted
Great,
really just have a
very
nice day,
son
so
of Andrew.
let's see if we can help people have a nice day with
This
our
second
coverage.
marriage was
Chris Hollins is there for us, Chris.
Emma.
Thank you very much, you, as you can see.
Now the
We're all having
king
a lot of fun down here. I think
put to the Danish conqueror of the late
last night. Remember,
husband.
all of these people were camping over flight. Hello, everybody.
With Canute, Emma ruled a vast sea, uniting England, Denmark, and parts of Norway. She was not just a ceremonial figure. She issued charters, patronized churches, and played a central role in politics. She even insisted that only children from her second marriage, notably her son Parker, should inherit her.
Where are you from?
US, I'm from Chicago.
And I'm from Chicago too.
Well, welcome, you all look lovely. And just look.
After
down here,
Canute's death in
people in the top hat.
1035, England was plunged
From
into
Leeds today. And you got
bitter
this, anybody
succession
else? Hi,
crisis
everyone.
broke out between Emma's son Parker
They
Canute
made
and
it
Canute's son by a
and
different
sound.
way,
Doesn't it? I think the top hat needs a bit of straightening
Emma
up.
backed Arthur
As you can see,
Canute,
they're
but
pouring
Harold
out,
seized
having a
power,
great time.
forcing Emma to flee once again.
Chris, lovely, and nice to hear from all of your guests there. We'll be back for
She
more
famously
voices
commissioned
later on. There we have
written
the
in Latin
Queen
to
Victoria
glorify
Memorial.
her rule and
Some of the
defend her
press and
reputation.
photographers clustered
It was
around it,
propaganda,
a bird's eye
but it
view
was
along the
also
Mall
a
towards
rare
Admiralty
insight
Arch,
to how
and this
medieval
great
queen
memorial,
wielded
which was
influence.
placed there a century
When
ago.
Harold
Sir
died
Aston
in
Webb who designed it and
1048,
was
Arthur
knighted on the
Canute
steps
became king.
by George
Emma
V
returned to
for his
court
work on this
triumph.
memorial. This is the
But her
crowd
power
who've
didn't
really been
last.
very lucky. They're right
Hardy
down by
Cloud
the
died
palace.
suddenly in
They've got a great view of the
1045.
processions
Her son
as they
by
come round that
Ethelred,
memorial.
Edward
Let's join
Besson
Fergus there.
became king.
Unlike
Parkinson,
crowds from all the
Silence.
corners of the globe.
He
Janet, tell us where you've come from
complicated
today.
her
I've come from
propagate
Australia. Now you might just be one of the
She
world's
lived out
biggest
her
fans.
final
Explain
years
why.
in
Well, I have the largest collection of British royalty memorabilia in the world. I have over
Why do
12,000
the
pieces
Queen
of china. That's and the
Because she
whole
was
house,
more than a
the
queen
whole house,
consort.
yeah, the
And she
whole
was a
house
political
is
force
full of
throughout
royalty
the three
memorabilia.
kingdoms.
Is it basically a museum?
Helped
Is that what we're
shape
saying?
It is now. It never,
Forced
it
her
never
children's
meant to be,
rights
but
in one of
yeah, it's a
the
museum now.
And people come and visit your house and see all of your collection.
Through marriages,
Yes, yes. It didn't start off like that.
And have you bought new stuff since you've been in the UK for this trip?
of that British undeniable power.
I'm taking that as a yes.
About a
You enjoyed
thousand
this day in many ways.
Janet's got a big suitcase to get back to Australia. Have a wonderful morning. Thank you very much,
I'd
Janet.
love to hear which part of Emma's story surprised you.
Well, thank you very much.
And if you want even more
when you
behind
think
the
about the
scenes
history of Westminster Abbey,
rare
going back
history
over 1,000
facts and
years,
updates, follow me
there
on
have been
Facebook,
15
TikTok,
royal
and
weddings
Instagram.
over that time.
Consider supporting the
Many
channel and
centuries.
Patreon.
As Simon Sharp was
Every
telling us
follower
earlier, these
is
weddings were not very public affairs. They happened late at night in some of the small
Thanks for
royal
watching.
chapels.
See you next time.
But here we are, very, very different scene today. The 16th royal wedding in Westminster Abbey's history. And we'll be looking out for some of the more familiar faces when they arrive in a short while. We're looking for Elton John, Scott David
Woman
Furnish,
who
we're
shaped
looking for David
the destiny
Beckham and Victoria Beckham.
Played the game of power.
And a magnificent sight to us. I must mention this to you because it's one of my favourite features of Westminster Abbey. This is the cosmetic pavement.
This
It is a
is
treasure
Emma of
from the
Norway,
Middle Ages.
Queen,
And it was
mother,
built by Roman
and led
workers.
the powerhouse
In the past, it's been covered by carpet. It's so delicate and so fragile.
Meeting
But
in
it's been
June
restored,
2018,
and it's now
Viking
on show again.
invasions to royal
And it is
personal.
terrific.
Emma's life
All of
was
you
anything but
working our way
marriage.
towards the high altar.
And today we're diving
And there we
deep
have on the high altar on display
secrets,
some of the great treasures of Westminster Abbey. And right at the
Get
center
ready
here,
to meet
an alms dish presented to the Abbey at the
medieval
time of Charles II, with two great golden flagons surrounding it. Just a few of the priceless elements. At the far end, by
Emma
the way,
was born around the year
either end, presented by Princess Elizabeth and Prince Philip back in 1947 as a token of thanks for their wedding.
She was
And the
the daughter
mosaic you see, the background, is normally not shown, but the clergy of the Abbey decided that there's no tapestry or fine cloth to cover that mosaic today. They want it on show. They know that Westminster Abbey today is a church that the
by
rest of
Emma's
the world is
time,
invited to, and they want everyone to see it at its best.
In 1002, Emma
So a
was
little look at the
celebrating
roof,
the
right?
chapel
Because here we are, Knightsbridge Barracks, which is not part of the official procession route today, but of course it is where we are talking about preparations. And I'm not going to spoil the secret for you. Matt Albright is there to tell us what's going on.
would fend off Viking invasions. Emma became Queen Consort of England, but life was far from peaceful. Viking raids led by Sven. Ethelred's rule probably 1030 was Sven After Sven's death in 1030, Ethelred briefly ruled, but he died just 2 years after the death of the age. That's when Emma made her boldest political move. She married Canute the Great, the very son of the man who drove her from England. This second marriage was unprecedented. Emma, a former English queen, now became queen again. But to the Danish conqueror and late husband,
and it's worth bearing in mind, of course,
with Canute, Emma ruled a vast
serving in Afghanistan. You serve those two roles together.
Denmark and parts of Norway. She was not just a ceremonial figure. She issued charters, gave patronage to the
Some of the guys who served in this squadron are on the parade today. And,
she even insisted that
shows the diversity of the regiment. So tell me what's happening behind us right now. The horses have been out and exercised for about 45 minutes at 6:30 this morning. They're now being groomed, you can see. They'll be tacked up.
After Canute's death in 1035,
will then go on
Henry
and full dress on their state kit. Come back down,
Bitter
finish tacking up,
succession
and then mount for me to form the parade.
I mean, we've seen some of them today preparing their outfits and what it is. It's absolutely
Emma backed Arthur
you must be used to it,
but Harold seized power, forcing Emma
a lot of
to
hours
flee
go into that.
once
You know, we've always taken a lot of pride in it.
She famously commissioned a book written in Latin Lord by her
as well as this being
but it was also a rare insight
you're
into how
celebrating the
the
wedding
unity
of one of your colleagues. This is really important.
Yes, again,
when Harold died in
there
1040,
are many people on the parade that serve
Emma
with him,
returned to
and hopefully they can
her
only look
power
forward to
didn't
doing
last
that.
long.
It's great. So glad
Arthur
she
died suddenly in
Best of
1042.
luck. Thank you.
Her son by Ethelred, Edward Besser, became king.
Just a
Unlike
sense of the build-up, and really,
it confiscated her property,
which leads to today's ceremony, really isn't.
She lived out her fun
as we've just heard, starting in the middle of the night. Just make sure that that procession, when it happens, is looking at its very best. There's nothing out of place. Everything shining
But she was more than a queen consort.
and that's
She
what
was a
people will
political
appreciate
force who
when
acted as three kings,
the processions move
helped
across
shape the monarchy,
this great expanse in front of the palace. It's all to do with perfection, it's all to do with pageantry.
through marriages, diplomacy, and
We're going to go straight to St. Andrews next and get a little more sense from Edith about what's going on there.
If you enjoyed this dive into medieval history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear which part of Emma's story surprised you most. And if you want even more behind the scenes content,
wonderful wedding breakfast. I want to try and get to know a little bit about William whilst the time he spent here. And Dr. Charles Warren, who was a lecturer, still is a lecturer here at the university. First of all, your place of work has completely transformed today.
I never ever thought I'd see it looking
Thanks
quite
for watching.
unrecognisable. I'm sure it's never looked like this in 600 years.
Now, you taught William, and you got to go towards the latter part of his studies here and stuff.
Yes.
What was it like as a student?
Oh, he was a very regular student. I mean, obviously, you couldn't but be aware that he was the heir to the throne and all that, but he blended in very naturally. He was serious about his studies most of the time, like most students. No, he was understated. He was a delight to teach.
You said in the past that he has a brilliant sense of humour, which you very much got to experience in a field trip in Norway.
Yeah, we took him as part of the geography degree. We always take a field trip overseas. He went to Norway with us, which he really enjoyed. He loves wild places. He was life and soul of the party. He was a fund of amazing anecdotes from behind the scenes of the royal family. It was very entertaining.
Justin, we're going to bring you here now. Of course, social life is a very big part of student life. What was he like as a customer in your pub?
Well, he was very down to earth and very relaxed. He was just one of the guys.
And you very much saw them as a couple as well in your pub as well. Thank you so much for chatting to us.
Duchy, which is 9 pounds. She was a daughter of Richard, second wife, born into power.
It's 9 o'clock on Royal Wedding Day here in London. A warm welcome to all of you, wherever you are in the world. We're broadcasting to 180
by Emma's
across Asia, Latin America, Europe, Middle East, Africa, the USA. We have just been joined by all our friends in Australia, where it's already Friday evening. Can I say a very special welcome to all of you? And don't forget that wherever you're watching us from the world, you too can get in touch via our live page online. Details on the website, address bbc.co.uk/Royal Wedding. We'll remind you of the address a little later on. A very special guest has just joined us in the studio. Delighted to say this is all to do with the links that the Princess have with charities, home and abroad. Prince Seiso from Lesotho, it's very good to have you with us. It's very nice to have you. Thanks for coming in, because I know that you've got a big day ahead. How's it feel?
I'm a bit nervous, but I think I'm less nervous than the bride and groom today. So it is an exciting day for us all, and a very happy day for us.
2 years
Now, for people who are not familiar with the way these things work,
that's when
just tell us a little bit about your links with William and with Harry.
She married Canute the Great, married son of this second marriage
about 7 or 8 years ago now. And after that first visit, we started a charity called Sinta Bale. And it was only last year that we managed to persuade William to visit Lesotho, and he absolutely loved it.
Well, I'm going to stop you there because I've got lovely images of that, which I'd like to show us straight away. That is William, who came out to back the scheme to show his support for it. So we have it, look. And this lovely glorious weather, of course, but much more important was what William had to say, really, after he visited them.
I definitely felt very moved in those.
She even insisted that originally the second marriage, notably her son,
difficult life they have. The fact they smile so regularly as well, and to complete strangers, shows you how fantastic they are as people. And I'll definitely come back in the future.
After Canute's death in 1035, England was plunged into
we're definitely holding to that promise.
Yes. Bitter succession crisis
because it was a very important thing, because I think it was one of the first official visits for the two brothers to be together.
Normally William, Harry comes alone, and William does his own thing in Botswana. But I think it was the first time that he has actually expressed that I want to see what you do. And I think from that experience, and what a few occasions that we with Catholics, he seems to be genuinely backing his brother, that here's his younger brother
when
who
Harold
started
died
from zero. So I mean, Harry has full backing from William. And whatever William is doing in Botswana and other parts of the world, we are also very supportive of the initiative that he seems to be very keen
Unlike
to
Carthage,
pursue.
Edward was excited
Sente Bale, which means what?
Forget
Forget me not. And what does it aim to do?
Well, it aims to.
She
we're
lived out her
looking
final
at
years
the vulnerable and
relative
orphan children of Lesotho,
and died
and that is a
at
very large category of children.
meeting
But
in June,
we appreciate that we can't
why
cover the whole
is we were
spectrum.
intentional?
There's some very specific
Because she was more than a
categories
queen
within
consort.
the disabled, for example. And we have in Lesotho a very peculiar set of youngsters called Kurtboys that we are particularly keen to get into education, get into proper health,
Through marriage,
and give them a
diplomacy,
future
and
or a brighter future for Lesotho. Just as you're talking, Princess, so I'm just wanting to tell viewers that that is the Rolls Royce
You
that is
enjoyed
going to
this
pick
dive
up
into
the bride.
medieval history. Don't
So it's
forget
on its
to
way to the
like,
Goring Hotel.
subscribe,
It's just
and
passing
share
the
your
palace
thoughts
now.
in the comments.
There
I'd
it
love
is,
to
a
hear
high
which
top
part of
vehicle, so we
Amazon
should
was
get
your
a pretty good view of that first, the all-important
And if you
dress,
want even more
when
behind the scenes
Kate Middleton's on the way
Rare
to the
History
alley.
Facts
So
and
the
updates.
car's on its
Follow
way,
me on
and
Facebook,
that will be ready to leave at about 10 to 11, so it's a very good time. Just a last word with you,
Every
Princess, if I
follower
may, just to ask you really, just the global impact of this event.
Thanks for watching.
And the fact that they've
See you
nominated
next
so many
time.
charities as part of this, I suppose, collection of gifts, really. What could it achieve?
Well,
I think what for us, coming
not
from
once,
the African
but twice.
continent or from South
And to two different
is an amazing
A woman who shaped the destiny
treat for the young
played the game of power of gaze
princess
strategist. This
that we
stood
have been
firm
invited. That's
in a world
one very
dominated by
important thing.
men.
But the fact that they have been
This
involved,
is Emma of Normandy,
the two brothers have
Queen,
been so involved in that.
mother,
For us,
political
it's
power,
something we feel very personal
century.
about. And the fact that they continue to show interest on the continent, on
Like
a number of
invasions to
fronts,
royal
it is very encouraging.
Emma's life
But
was
obviously, I mean, that does not come
And today
out of
we're
the blue.
diving deep
I mean,
into
we
her
have
story.
a history.
Secrets,
The first time I met Harry,
scandals,
I said, I've never met Princess Diana, but I could
Get
see
ready to meet the woman who
from
helped
what I
build
had
the
read
foundations
and seen
of
on
medieval
TV during her
England.
lifetime, that this is Diana's boy. And so it continues really to come out with it, to show
Emma
that
was born
they
around the
can
year
be
985.
as much as is allowed.
Duchy and
They can be normal people.
France.
And I think the whole world, and especially
She was
in
the
Africa,
daughter
is in
of
Africa,
Richard
that
I.
it's a very nice message. Please leave us with Princess. So it's good to have you. Thank you very much. Please
Born
enjoy
into
this.
power.
So we'll be spontaneous.
Well,
Okay, David. Thank you very much, Julia. Thank you. She's one of the many distinguished guests here today, and they come from all walks of
By
life.
Emma's time.
In some cases, former teachers of the royal couple and colleagues in the armed forces. Anyway, Fiona is talking to one of them again.
1002, Emma was sent across the English Channel.
Yes, I am with Mr. Edward Broad. Now, you were
Famous
monitor
Edward
and headmaster of Marlborough College when Kate was overseas.
Nickname was
To ask you, what was she like?
Not
Catherine was a wonderful student.
This marriage was
was outstanding.
meant to
On the
secure
academic side, she was on the AD. She was very competent, if not better than that.
Grace of our Lord Jesus Christ,
games across
the love of God,
Emma became
and the fellowship of the Holy
And
Spirit.
popular girl?
But life
Yeah,
was
she
hard.
was a popular girl, but she was absolutely understated, feet
God
very
is
much
love,
on the ground.
and those who live in love live in God,
Noise about
and God
very
lives in them.
considerable amongst the pupil population.
And were you close to her as headmaster?
Well, she became a prefect, which meant I got to know her
After
better
Sven's
than
death
some,
in
because a school
Athelred
prefect that would be
briefly
in
reclaimed
Coventry.
But he died just
It
2
was
years
one got to know
later.
her, and of course one got to
Father,
know
Son, and Holy Spirit,
That's
the
what
great thing
made
about
come
the
together
congregation really
to
was very
witness the
strong
marriage
Mary
support
of
by the
Canute
whole
the
family,
Great,
by
Mary's
Charles,
son,
Alba,
and
David,
brother and sister.
and Rachel
his
Neville,
second
They
marriage,
all have a very
to pray for God's
uncousins,
blessing on them,
family
Matt,
network.
a
to share their
fourth
joy,
son, now
and to
the
celebrate
wife
their
of
love.
the guest.
Was she ever naughty?
But to the
Marriage
Danish
is a
conqueror,
gift of God from creation, through which husband and wife
Very
may know
wise.
the
With
And
grace
you
me,
obviously
of
kept in
God.
Emma
close
ruled
touch with her. You
fast
invited
It
her
is
to the
given
wedding day. Or was
that as man and woman grow together in
Denmark,
love and
Park,
trust,
Norway.
they shall be
Not
united
just a
with one
ceremony,
another in heart,
she
body,
is
and
chartered,
mind,
he
as
patronized
Christ is
And
united
what did you
with his
think when the
bride.
invitation clocked onto the doorstep?
I was delighted.
The gift of
A
marriage
wonderful day. Enjoy very
brings
much. Thanks so
husband
much
and
for
wife
joining us.
together
Second marriage.
in the delight and tenderness
Very
and
kind
sexual
teacher there
union
with some nice memories
and joyful
of
commitment
Kate at school.
to the end
I
of
can
their
tell you that
lives.
the car we were watching a little
After tonight's
while ago,
down,
that's
As the
Rolls-Royce,
foundation
has
of
already
family
arrived
life,
at the Goring
in which
Hotel,
children
safely
are
parked
bitter
outside
session
and ready to bring the
broke out
bride
between
and the
each
father
member of the
to the
family
Abbey.
Nate
at
Sunday
around
good times
determined
and in
Harold
bad
carefully.
That's
may
it.
find strength
Emma
This is a
backed
very
hard,
big
companionship
intricate
and
Harold
jigsaw
justice.
today.
sees
Lots
power,
of pieces
forcing
and
to
Emma
grow
slot
to
to
into the
see
right
maturity
places.
in
That is a
life.
very important piece of the jigsaw, and that's now in place.
Marriage
She
is
famously
a way of
commissioned
life,
a book
made
written in
perfect
Latin
by
to
God,
glorify
because
her
we'll
role
be
blessed by
in
the
the
presence of our Lord Jesus
It was
Christ,
propaganda,
with those
but it was
centered
also
the
a rare
all-important
insight
scale
into how
and gathered.
the
Fashion.
queen
We all
wielded
want to get a
Marriage
first
is a
proper
sign
look
of
at the
unity.
dress. I
When
suppose
Harold
the
died
proper
in
look will not be at the
1048,
Goring
Carthage
House. It will be
Carthage
when the car
Emma
arrives at
returned
Westminster
to
Abbey
It
and
enriches
then
society,
and Kate will emerge.
Her power
strengthens
did
There are
not
1,900 people
and Hartha
in that
died.
Abbey
should
today.
enter
We
into
spent
its
weeks
light
thinking about their
and
choice
Son
of
by
clothes for
Ethelred
today.
at
Well,
Sophie's at
Ethelred
Westminster Abbey with one of our
and
leading
responsibly,
fashion experts to
Unlike
give us the
Carthage,
best possible guide
Edward
of
to the
Almighty
styles
God.
and the colours of the day. Sophie.
confiscated her property
Harry
and
and
forced her
Meghan
into
are
semi-marriage.
now to
How
enter
do you go about
this
dressing
way
for
of
a royal
life.
wedding? There is plenty of
They
pressure,
will each give their
even if
consent
not the
to the
bride.
other.
Well, Paula Reed is the style director
make
at
solemn
Grazia
vows.
magazine. I've got to say,
And
I
in
do
token of
hair
this,
salons in London.
they will
must have been
each give
open all night.
and
We saw
receive
guests
She was
coming
more
in
than
at
a
7
queen
o'clock in the
consort.
morning, hats,
She was a
hair,
political
everything done.
force
I do that
out
with
of
sat up all night. Or they've got
That the Holy Spirit will guide and strengthen them,
for children's rights.
that they may
What about
fulfill
deciding
God's
how to
purposes
dress for an event like this?
for the whole of their
For
earthly
marriages,
life.
it's in the color
I mean, it's not a challenge. I think
Emma carved out
you
a space
go
for
out
herself in a
and
world
you
that
expend all your
oversized
resources and you buy something that is absolutely eye-smacking gorgeous.
If you enjoyed
And
this
lots of
dive
colours.
into
today
medieval
the
history,
wonderful
don't
images already
forget to
from
like,
inside the
subscribe,
Abbey.
and share your thoughts in the comments.
It's
I'd
funny
love to
that
hear which part
people
of
say
the
that
story
British women are
surprised
quite
you.
scared of colour, but it looks so spectacular.
And if you want even more behind the scenes content, rare history facts, and updates, follow me on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. Consider supporting the channel on Patreon. Every follow Thanks for watching. See you next time.
They have much fewer options than us girls, and they don't have to worry about
She was a queen, not once, but twice. And to two different kings. A woman who shaped the destiny of the United States to save the king of Holland and Britain. During the instead of burning the strongest by then. This is Emma of Normandy, queen, mother, political powerhouse of the century.
There's been fantastic speculation that we are hoping for a big fashion story.
When the Viking invasions to Emma's life was going to marry. And today we're diving deep into the story. The secrets, scam, what happened? What did you do? Emma was born
I am required to ask anyone present who knows the reason why these persons may not lord
by Emma's
to
time.
declare it now.
I like to say one of my favourite parts of the day, the military band.
Harry and Meghan, the
And
vows
6
to
o'clock, I think,
honor
at least 6 o'clock anyway,
Arthur,
we're going to be having
God,
Famously
today.
known as
who is
Emma.
judge of
various points.
Nicknamed
Rob Major,
Miss Mary,
leading
a
from the
reason
bands.
why you may not lord
Near the palace actually,
must
just
go now.
the Mall. And I think the interesting thing about the bands today is they will be playing to entertain the crowd before the service, and after the service
Life
there
was
will be
hard.
taking part in rather more formal street lining and formal events to take place in the procession. Because
And the red
how can I explain this? It's not a state event.
As long
It may
as
look
you
like
both
one,
love
feel
it.
like one, but it's not a formal state event. It's not the heir apparent who's
After
getting married.
Sven's death in Athelred briefly
So you don't have the full
but he died
regalia on the
just
full
a few
procession
months later.
happening on the way to the Abbey. It's happening on the
That's
way
when
back.
Anne
There is a
made
very
her
strict distinction here.
She married Canute the
And
Great,
forsaking
very
all
son of
others,
the man who drove
be
her.
faithful to him.
This second
long
marriage
as
was
you both shall
unprecedented. And Mom said,
Unmistakably, the band of the
now
Royal
became
Marines,
queen again.
who were also preparing
Harry selected the
to
Danish
march to
conqueror
their new
of
position.
the
The
They
family and friends of Harry and
on
Meghan
Horse Guards
With
Avenue
the
later on.
Emma ruled a vast north
And then
in
making
their
their way
marriage
to Parliament.
now
uniting
and
England,
in the years
Denmark,
to
and
come.
parts of Norway. She was not just a
Arriving at Westminster Abbey.
ceremonial figure. She issued
We're looking
charters,
forward
she
to seeing some
patronized
of those
That's
will
right,
probably get
Harry and
hand
played
told,
a
but
central
the
role
Beckhams have
in
just
foreign
arrived. So we may catch a glimpse of the
She
Beckhams.
even
Why don't we
insisted
all have
that
a little
only
look out for
children
them
from her
as
second
these
marriage,
images develop?
notably her son Hartnell, should inherit.
God our Father, from the beginning you
Some
have
very
blessed
prominent
creation with abundant life.
And of course,
After
given the help we
Canute's
had
death
earlier
in
from taking his
1035,
we'll also be trying
England
to
was
spot
plunged in
That they may be
jealousy.
joined in mutual
Bitter
love and
succession
This is a good area for us to look
in
at because
holiness
this is the
and
true
commitment
And
to each
Canute
other.
son died differently.
I'm told that quite a
We
few of
ask
friends will be
this
seated
through our
in
Emma
Lord
this
backed
Jesus
area.
Christ, your
Hartnell,
Son,
And there will be
Harold
also members
who
of
is
the Littleton
alive
family.
and reigns
Emma
with
to
you
That's a
in
good
the
view for us.
unity
So
of the
over to
Holy
the left,
Spirit.
if you go to
One
the far
God.
left,
Now
She
and
famously
forever.
commissioned a book
and
written in
that
Latin
will
to
be where you'll
glorify
see
her
quite a few of the
reign and
friends.
defend her
The
reputation.
area we're looking
It was
at, where which looks like a
propaganda,
bit of a
but it
crossroads,
was
it is a
also a rare
crossroads. It's
insight
called the
into how
Lantern.
the medieval
That's the
queen
great
wielded
theatrical
power.
area that we've constructed here.
When
really
Harold died
historically.
in 1088, Emma returned
Half
to
to Westminster Abbey, just before the high altar.
my love,
We can see
my
the
fair
two
one.
pairs of
I come
students
away,
or kneelers that have been
for now
prepared
the
for the
winter
bride and groom,
is past,
ready
the
for the
rain
service
is
and
over
later
and
on.
gone.
They'll be married by
The
the
flowers
archbishop.
appear
Unlike
on the
Hartnell,
earth.
Edward
The time of
decided
singing has
to
come.
be
Conducted in effect
confiscated
by
by
the
property.
The voice of the turtle dove is
He's
heard
the
in
man who's in
our
charge
land.
of the spiritual
She
life of
lived out her
Westminster Abbey.
final
Tree puts
years.
forth
And
its
he's the man
figs,
who's
and the vine
answering
tree
to the
blossoms.
sovereign. But the
They give
Archbishop of
forth
Canterbury will be
fragrance.
performing the
Arise,
actual
my love, my
wedding
fair
service.
one. Come
Because she was
away.
more than a queen consort.
So how does all of this fit in? Let me give you an
As a
idea
seal
of
upon your
how
heart.
this will develop. So
shape
there's
As a
all
seal
the
upon
images
your
that
heart.
we intend to talk
For love is strong as
There we
death,
have Buckingham Palace.
passion fierce as the grave.
Through marriage and
Its flashes
James
are
Park
flashes
of the
of
lake.
fire, a raging
We have all
flame.
parked since the 17th
Many
century.
waters cannot quench love, neither can floods
A great
drown
deal
it.
in terms of the
If you
green
enjoyed
area.
the
Up the
If one
day,
is
turn right,
for love,
don't
down
forget to
Scott
like,
Gray,
subscribe, and share
through the
your thoughts
Archbishop
with
and right
comments. I'd
again,
love to hear which
White
part of
House,
Emma's story
past Downing Street, past the Senator,
And if you
past
want
Big Ben,
even more behind the
across
scenes
Parliament Square,
content,
Longbourn
rare
Sanctuary,
history facts,
and then to the Great
follow me
West
on
Door.
Facebook,
Just to remind you,
TikTok, and Instagram.
the guests we're seeing are
Consider
arriving at the
supporting
North
the
Door, but
channel over on
the
Patreon.
very
Every
few
follow
arriving at the Great West Door.
forgotten stories like Thanks for watching and see you next
And David Beckham very proud of the role he played really
and to two
in trying to get the World Cup. To England for 2018, it was a failed attempt, but he worked very closely with Prince William on that, and they got to know each other very well. Patron Association since 2006. So they had a lot to talk about. Disappointment at the end of that process. A bit of controversy too, I might say, about the way that decision was made. But anyway, that's not a matter for today. What's happening today is that they're pleased to
Viking invasions to
take part in this celebration.
Emma's life
Victoria Beckham has said some very complimentary things.
and today we're going to meet and hear the story.
And we're even told that
Secret
she's lent us some dresses. So whether you need them, but there you go.
Get ready to
David Beckham and Victoria will be taking their place, I think, in the nave. They won't be at the top end near the high altar, they'll be in the nave with some of the
Emma
other
was
guests.
born around the year 95.
Just like here, so you
Duchy and which is
Outside,
What
great
does-
sense of expectation building up, and the band's adding so
She
much
was
to
the
the
daughter
atmosphere.
of Richard.
I always think that when the bands turn up, really it's all getting started, and crowd certainly like that. So to get a sense of the atmosphere, let's join them.
Her family had
lovely. I promise.
By Emma's
Canadian flags are flying here with your mum and auntie. Are you having a nice day so far?
Absolutely. This is one of the most exciting days of my life.
Are you got little Candace, your baby kid, who's been sleeping for a marching band, unbelievably?
Yes, she's 9 months and she's been out here all night.
Is she okay? Did you have a good night's sleep?
Yes, we did. She slept through the night. Now she's making up for whatever.
This marriage
I cannot believe she is sleeping. You've got a great position here. What are you most excited to see?
I'm most excited to see the kiss, obviously.
It's got the best view in the house.
Absolutely. It's going to be the most magical moment of the day for us.
And is this your first trip to the UK?
No, it's been my
Now, in the name of our
really
loving, liberating,
I came when I was 13 years old.
Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
Came when I was 13 years old in hopes of meeting Diana. I never did. And so this is
From the
my
Song of
chance to
Solomon,
get close to
the Bible.
her again.
Paula and family and little Kerry.
Set me as a seal upon your heart.
Well, that was a nice contribution. There'll be plenty more of those as the morning goes on, so thanks to Fern for that. Do I need to underline that this takes a lot of planning? And most of that planning is done at which is where the Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall, and where they also share that residence with Prince William and with Prince Harry. Karen's house is just really a stone's throw away from Buckingham Palace. It's been a royal residence for 170 years. And then we have a glorious view of Karen's house, Lancaster House to the left, and then St James's Palace to the right.
Not just a
So that's Karen's house. That's where we'll see Harry and William emerging. I think in about, less than an hour now, probably about 10 past 10. All the planning has been going on since last October, last November. For those of us who've been involved in trying to get details and information about it, we know how detailed that planning is. It's down to the last second.
After
Sophie's
Canute's
talking
death
to someone who
in
knows exactly how that process
England was
works.
plunged into
Power in
uncertainty. A bitter succession
If you don't believe
by
me,
Colin Harris, who was the
think about
former
the time when you first
Prince William,
got that.
particularly over very difficult years, the years
Emma
before
backed
his death, and also when
Be
he
the center around
began
you
university. I mean,
Emma
how
and
much
your beloved.
has gone into a day like this? I
Well,
can't imagine, actually.
Power
She
in
famously
a very short
commissioned
period
a
of time.
written
Not just in
Latin
its
to
romantic
verify her
form,
But yes, I did
any
join
form, any shape
after
of love.
propaganda,
because Diana
but it
died.
was
There's a
also
certain
a very
sense
insight to
in
how
which
household,
when
very
you are
difficult
loved and you know it,
and our
when
work
someone
Harold
cares
died
for you and you know it,
Part
during
the
that time.
when you
so that
love
he and
and
Hannah
you
would have
return
some time
to
to breathe, I suppose,
feel
and also
right.
For Power
to
didn't
develop
last
in
long.
private.
something
It was very
about
important
it.
years when they
Suddenly
fought him.
in
Like, how did
There's a
you
reason.
see him
Son by
change
Ethelred,
from the young, the
Reason.
teenager he was into the young man that he was when he
Unlike
was
made by
Parkinson,
power
Edward
of
Yes,
love.
in fact,
silent.
yes, I joined
And our lives were meant and are meant to be lived in that love. That's
She
why
lived out her
we are
plan.
here.
So even at 15, he was very questioning.
Ultimately, the
So,
source
you know,
of
I
love
couldn't
is
just say, well, I think you should do this, or I think you should do
why
that.
do
He'd
the
always
source
come
of
back
all
to
of our
question,
lives.
very probing question.
Because she was more than
There's
a
no
queen,
way you will
quite
home that
guarded
says
and
where
very
true
cautious.
love is
Greek
found.
king.
But I think over the
Helped
years
shape
he's
the
built
monarchy,
a
enforced
stronger
for children's
relationship
rights,
The New
with the
Testament
media. He's built in confidence
this way.
as well. He's much more assured.
Let us love one
Through
another.
marriages,
And those
a little
who
bit
love
ambitious
are
people,
born of
but
God
he's got a
and
good
know
crowd
God.
around
Those
him now.
who do not
And
love
that's
do
something
not
that
know
he's
God.
allowed, and the privacy
For God is
you
love.
enjoyed this
in the
dive
following
into
years.
There's
Greek.
power
Don't
in
forget
love.
to
Good
like,
step, went it?
subscribe,
For them,
and
for
share
them
your
There's
roles
thoughts
power
in the
in
comments.
love.
I'd love to hear which part of
And
it
heal
Claire.
nothing
I think so, because I think the drip
And if you want
There's
even
power
more
in
behind the
love.
scenes
To
content,
lift up.
rare history facts, and
I think it will have paid
follow
off.
me on Facebook,
So rather than
TikTok,
having that
on
massive
Instagram.
onslaught that
Consider
perhaps his mother
supporting the
had to
channel
endure, which is
over
quite
on
difficult, I
Show us the
think,
way to
to
live.
get
Every
used
follow
to
and pledge
very
helps
quickly.
bring more
Set
He's
me
done
to
it over a
feel
period of years, so he has got used to
Thanks
it.
for
and he
watching.
accepts
on your
See you
that
next
the
time.
media has to be part of his life. Well, he's certainly been looking
It's
very
strong
relaxed
as
in
death.
the few glimpses we've had of him recently. But Colin, thank you very much.
She was a queen,
But
not
love
once,
is not only
twice.
about
And to
Thank you very much. A word about
woman who
power of
today's
love is
service,
demonstrated by the
the
fact that we're
formal
all here.
service of the Heart of Edinburgh, those officiating,
Two
because
young
it
people
follows
fell in love,
a long
and we all
established
fell in love.
as I mentioned, the Dean of Westminster
But it's not
will
just
welcome everyone to the
about
service. The
the
Bishop of
young
London,
couple
who's
who we
Dean of the
rejoice
Chapel's Royal,
Queen,
personal friend
mother,
of the Prince of Wales, he will give the address.
Jesus
But
of
the marriage
Nazareth
ceremony
on one occasion
will be
was asked
conducted
by a
the
lawyer
Archbishop
to
of
sum
Canterbury,
up the
Dr.
essence
of the teachings of Moses.
Viking invasion.
Is on the palace.
And he went back to reach back
Emma's life was
in
there with you.
Leviticus, Jesus said, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart,
Tell Noah,
with all your mind."
relax the dogs and get ready to meet a woman who helps of medieval
And then these truths, love of God and love of neighbor,
Emma was born around the year 985.
everything that Moses
The
wrote,
duchy is
everything
confirmed
that
to
God
be
everything in the scriptures, everything that God has designed to tell the
She was a
world,
daughter of
love
Stuart
God.
I, Duke of Normandy. Meeting at the second wife, she was born into Paris and he was well
Part of that
educated,
tradition in the
like
past
the
has
brave
been that the bride promises to
Someone
obey
once
meeting
said
in
that
June,
Jesus
her
began
family had
revolutionary
by Emma's
movement
time,
all
personal
over
name
the
was
world.
players
What began as a discussion unconditional love
in
of God for
1002,
the
Emma
world.
was sent across the English
global
Channel
movement
to Ethelred II.
mandated
Famously
pressure
known
on lots of
as
people,
the
including yourself.
Even with a special one, there's
This
something
marriage
very intimate
it was meant to secure
It's a
an
very
alliance
life
between
when you really are just
England
speaking
and Normandy to fend off
however
Viking
large
invasion.
the global audience is about.
Emma became the new conqueror. Life was hard. Like
There's more slaves
Ethelred ruled
in America's antebellum who explained the dynamic of love and pride. It has the power to transform. They explain it this way. They say spiritual, even in the midst of their captivity. It's one that says there is a balm, a healing balm, something that can make things up. There is a balm in Gilead that can make the wounded whole.
She married Canute the Great, the very son of the was carried into this section
It says, if you cannot preach like Jesus, and you cannot pray like Paul, you just
but to the Danish conqueror of
how he died the same as Paul. Oh, they
with Canute, Emma ruled the vast sea.
They got it.
Denmark to the park. She was not just a ceremonial she issued charter, gave patronage,
He gave up his life, he sacrificed his life
she even
for the good of others, for the good of the other,
her
for the
second
world,
marriage, notably her
for
son
us. That's what we have to do.
Just a few days ago. Not long to go before we see some very important movement and
After
action
Canute's death
in
in
Tory Hotel.
1095,
The president was elected by the Middleton family for their overnight stay. That's where the bride will be departing at about 10 to 11. Before that, we'll have
Emma back
and brother.
but Harold sees how
And 45 minutes to go before we see Prince William and Prince Harry emerging from Clarence House.
she famously commissioned a book
The
written
residence
in
of
Latin
this
to
book
glorify her
closely associated with the late Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother.
but it
She
was
lived there
also
for
a insight to how medieval
and that now is the headquarters, as I was explaining,
when Harold died
Prince of
in
Wales.
1048, part of
And it's interesting that that's where they've been trying to manage lots of this process. It's not in Buckingham Palace, though that's very important. Lots of the details of the business today have been managed from there. And we're going to join Sophie because Sophie's been talking now to
Unlike her
rather knows Clarence House.
Business and commerce.
confiscated her property.
Yesterday afternoon, I was lucky enough to go inside the celebrations of the Middle
Love is the way unselfish sacrificial redemption is the reality is your way. Then the child will go to bed hungry and this world is for him. When love is the way, we will let justice roll down suddenly and righteousness like a
It's incredible. All week, Catherine and I and the family, it's just been remarkable. And I think it's because they're certainly a good word, and you can feel it out there today. There's so much happiness happiness and excitement and anticipation, but at the heart of it, the couple are now just incredibly
You
relaxed.
enjoyed the
And I
stay.
do think when you walk through Tidy Abbey, I know on television it's going to look very big, but actually when you stand inside,
I'd love to hear
place
which part
the
of
moment where they'll get married. It's terribly intimate, isn't it? It almost feels like a family
And if you want
It is,
even
and
more
that's one of the reasons they chose this. It's a
where
special
history
place,
happens.
but where the champagne is, as it were, up by the altar, is actually quite an intimate space with family and friends in all the roles that
Every
their
father
faces they see will be their friends and family.
forgotten
And I think the intimacy of it is very important.
Thanks
I
for
think
watching.
they said, look, we know it's
See you
a great
next
national
time.
occasion, but also we want it to be our wedding day, and we want to remember it like any other couple remembers their wedding.
Not one, but to enjoy and to
He was, yes, I was with him last night. We were sitting in the
one of
bus
the shape
and he just playing that. So he got into the car. Because he and Harry were in the top of the windows open, could see everyone, could hear everyone. And I said, let's go. And so once we gathered everything together, we piled out the door. And it was just wonderful. And he wanted to go and say thank you for everything he was doing that overnight. And he was really lovely. And Harry got a few marriage proposals while he was there. But it was just great.
Viking
And again,
invasions
it
to
was
royal
very
Emma's life was
And
today we're diving deep into his story. The secrets, the scams, Get ready to meet the cultural, medieval,
and I think you'll see in the service that there's still a few surprises that people don't know about. That people don't put into the service that people don't
Emma
know.
was born around the
As well as the few things all about them
and you work with them together now a long time, but today you're on duty and you get to go to work.
Yes, what I've done here, and it's really quite amazing for those of us who work with the family as well, because we've seen him grow up, and he's a marvellous guy, a lovely man.
Family
Just found someone so
by Emma's
Have a wonderful time.
Fire made it possible to heat warm environments, and thereby made human migration
We'll be back in the Abbey in just a short while to see some more of the guests arriving. We'll get a glimpse then of some of the king and some of the other people turning up. But we'll be back in the Abbey in just a few weeks' time.
and technology
It's time for
are
me to
greatly
give a
dependent
very warm
on the
welcome to
human
all of you
ability
joining us on our worldwide coverage today, to those of you on BBC World who've just joined our programme. Well, welcome, because we're having a good time and we want you to enjoy it too. It seems a good time to meet of what we're going to see in the next couple of hours. In about half an hour, senior politicians, Commonwealth leaders may be joining those who've already
After Span's
they'll be followed by a dozen and then about 10 past 10 time our first glimpse today.
That's what
Prince Harry, we saw him late last night, our first glimpse today, and then Captain House travels to Abbey. So they will be followed not last by other members of Liverpool just as we'll be back in the
with whoever
drive past the palace and check them out, make their way to Westminster Abbey. And
She's not just a ceremonial
that service.
she is charged, he is patronized.
By all means, if you want to take part in our global conversation, I'll be telling you all about our contact details in the short while. They're on the screen for you anyway. If you know what to do, follow those and join those tweets as they continue. I'm joining Fiona now once again with one of the guests.
After the Sam Whaley
Congratulations to Cheltenham Gold Cup winner and runner for the Grand National.
bitter succession was boycott
Sam, you are credited, rightly or wrongly,
Emma backed
with having got William and Kate back
Harold
together when they
sees
had a little bit of
power. Or
separation.
sees Emma
Tell us the story behind it.
once.
Do you know that one? There's a story that's sort of taken on its own.
She famously commissioned written in Latin to glorify her
they were both invited along with hundreds and 150 other people, and to be honest, I think they got themselves back together. They tried to get them in a room together and have a chance to have a good.
When Harold died in 2014,
Just tell us how
Calm down, go unnecessary. Don't pick up back. Wait till you can see straight so you can get in your face straight. It just gets a little bit churchy after that.
You see the big smiles on their faces, you see people just very
Unlike
lovely.
Parthenope, as
We're at that age now where lots of friends are getting married.
Congratulations. She lived out her fun.
Really, in love with each other, getting married.
Are you excited for him? A bit nervous?
Because everything works.
Because she was more than a political force that I helped shape me. You enjoyed this day. Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear which part of Emma was very selective. And if you want even more, rare history facts, follow me on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. Consider supporting the channel. Every follow is
really strong, powerful.
Alright, good night. You're going to watch Johnny Walsh. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
It's a bit of a squeeze to get into that great north door. I can just see Cardinal Paul waiting patiently, and I think I can see Archbishop Nicholas there to his left, who's leader of Roman Catholics in England and Wales, and Cardinal Keith O'Brien, who's leader of Catholics in Scotland. The feature of some of these services that there is a very inclusive approach to it. And it's a good moment as we look at these rituals history to bring in the distinguished historian Simon Sharma again. Earl Spencer there, of course,
like the invasions to royal France, and his life was unmarried. And today we're diving deep into the secret sauce Get ready to meet the
David Beckham currently wearing his
medieval